Welcome, everybody. My name is Gary Allen. I'm the CEO of New Frontier Data. We're here today to introduce shopEQ, the latest product in the Equio.ai product suite, data-driven, dispensary focused. As we've been talking about in our last, couple of webinars, Equio AI was built from the original Equio platform over the last few months. We listened to the struggles that dispensaries were having and that operators were having, not only about data, but more specifically about advertising and the spend and making sure that they understood who the consumers were that they were targeting and how to track and attribute all of their marketing and really create an ROI that they understood and that they believed. We want to empower, obviously, dispensaries, operators, investors to understand and centralize all of our data in one spot. As some of you have seen over the last couple of weeks and last few days, especially, we've been talking about this is the only platform that connects all of the dispensaries, 12,837 dispensaries in all 68.2 million consumer in one spot, enabling data decisions, data-driven decisions. It really is important that with this industry's unique challenges, that we create products and platforms that evolve with the market and that enable a dispensary owner, an operator, a marketer to understand who their consumers are, where they are, how many of them there are, and also how to get in touch with them. As I just spoke about the evolution of the market, the products that we are creating and delivering right now are more important than ever, right? The cannabis industry is evolving. It's constantly evolving. There are new dispensaries coming on board every day. There are dispensaries, unfortunately, shutting down every day as well. The illicit market continues to expand, especially over the last 8 to 10 weeks. Marketing regulations are enforced. They're not enforced. There is always an ebb and flow, and there's an always changing environment. The need for actionable insights has never been greater than it is now. Our Equio.ai, our design philosophy is with the design philosophy has the goal of serving the needs of the evolving cannabis industry. At the end of the day, we're here to empower business and help lead the industry. As I said earlier, and I'll say 50 times before this webinar is over, bringing all of the dispensaries and all of the consumers in one spot and understanding the connection between those dispensaries and those consumers and how to get those consumers inside of the dispensary through advertising, through engagement, through loyalty, and how to measure it through foot traffic, through sales, through ROI and return on ad spend has never been more important. shopEQ is, as I said before, the latest product that we have for Equio.ai. It's really important that we understand the consumer visitor, how many visitors are coming into our store, if they're new visitors, if they're repeat visitors, but more importantly, how many marketable consumers are out there. You'll see in the video that demonstrates shopEQ, you will have a number of visitors. Let's say it's 2,000 visitors, but with a marketable consumers you see on the screen here of 38,000, that white space, and we have been talking about that white space for the last couple of years. And that is really where the dispensaries need to be focused and where we need to help them focus and make real decisions in real time. I'm going to show you a quick demo that actually our Chief Knowledge Officer, Dr. Amanda Ryman, put together with our marketing team over the last week or so, and it's been out in the market. I'm going to show you this video, and I want you to notice how quickly you go from picking a dispensary to actually understanding what's going on within that dispensary to, again, that addressable market number, that addressable consumer market number. It really is the 2 or 3 clicks before you're able to understand what's going on in your dispensary, how many of your visitors are going to other dispensaries, but how many consumers you can actually market to without worrying about, or without the insecurity of not knowing how to. These are all consumers, and you'll see in that number, these are all consumers that with our consumer database, we can actually touch on your behalf.
Welcome to shopEQ, the latest innovation within the Equio.ai platform. If you're a dispensary owner or manager, you know how crucial it is to understand your customers, optimize operations, and maximize revenue. That's exactly what shopEQ helps you do, with real, actionable insights tailored to your location. Imagine having instant access to key data like visitor behavior, dwell times, visit frequency, and market penetration, all specific to your dispensary. With this level of intelligence, you can boost customer retention, optimize staffing and inventory, outmaneuver local competition, and drive higher revenue. How does it work? It's simple. From the top of the platform, select your dispensary. If you own multiple locations, just pick one from the drop-down list. The system instantly populates a detailed, interactive map. But the real magic happens when you dive into the data. shopEQ reveals not only how many people visit your dispensary, but your total addressable market within a 2-mile radius, the number of marketable consumers in your area, how many of your customers also visit competitors within 2 miles, and your penetration rate, how well you're capturing available customers. Beyond just foot traffic, shopEQ helps you truly understand your customers. Who are they? shopEQ gives you data on age, gender, and income. With this data, you can craft targeted marketing campaigns that resonate with your audience, ensuring your promotions, product mix, and outreach efforts actually drive sales. Marketing is only as good as the results it produces. That's why shopEQ helps you track the impact of your campaigns over time, changes in first-time versus repeat visitors, and your dispensary's market penetration trends. With these real-time insights, you'll know what's working, what's not, and where to adjust, eliminating guesswork and boosting ROI. In today's competitive cannabis industry, just tracking sales isn't enough. You need to know who's buying, who's loyal, and how often do they come back. shopEQ gives you the answers you need to thrive, helping you improve customer experience, optimize staffing, and increase revenue with data-driven decisions. Sign up for a demo now at Equio.ai and start transforming your dispensary today.
Feel free. Okay, there's Q&A going on here. Yeah, so feel free. I'm going to bring up a couple more slides, and Matt, we'll get to your question here in a second, but feel free to ask questions in the Q&A, throw in the chat. I did send an email out earlier today asking if any of the attendees have a dispensary and they want us to look at it in real time. We could have done that earlier, but if you want to ask questions, please feel free to jump in there. Let me get... So Matt asks, would Equio be an appropriate solution and affordable for one dispensary starting up in New York? As a matter of fact, absolutely. We have a number of new dispensaries in New York that we're working with. We actually just launched one this week. The platform itself, the shopEQ and AdEQ platforms for Nextech, it's $500 a month to help a dispensary understand and then market to those consumers. But the Equio.ai platform is only $49 a month to see all of the dispensaries in your state, and all of the information about visit data and visitor data in that state. The next question from an anonymous attendee: can your data pull out only new customers, or is there a way to leverage your data to reach only people who have never been to the dispensary or have only visited once? You're welcome, Matt. For this next question, the answer is yes, we absolutely can, and we have a case study with a Northeast dispensary that we've been working with for a long time, and this year they've decided to really focus on new consumers into their dispensary, and we notice a remarkable change in their ROI as well as in their foot traffic. In the positive, their new customers, being able to track new customers increased the ROI on their ad spend and the return on ad space. Sorry, I don't know why I was struggling with that answer. We have ways to suppress. I recommend people that if your visitor hasn't been there in 90 days, they're not your visitor. And bringing them back in is just as important as getting somebody who's never been there before. But to answer your question very directly, yes, we can, and yes, we're very successful at it. Cannabis Co. at 749.9. Let me see if we have it. 1 second. The cost for a single dispensary now there's Equio, the Equio platform. This is for Gian. There's an Equio platform and shopEQ for the Equio platform. Oh, sorry. The basic for the Equio platform is $49 a month. shopEQ is $500 a month per location. So for a single dispensary, it's $500. One second, I'm logging in here, and then I'll share my screen again. This is great. The reason I asked in an earlier email was because the live system, which you're about to see, has live data, and I didn't want to just pick out some dispensary and share that dispensary's information. So, Michael, as long as you understand that everybody's about to see your data. Yeah, cannabis, there it is. Let me share my screen. Here is New York Cannabis Company, 743 9th Avenue. We've captured, so before you become a customer of shopEQ of ours, and before we connect to you, we have observational data. So we've observed 2,711 visits for New York Cannabis Company. Dwell time and average of that device of those visitors is 14.4 minutes. So I got to move that out of my way. Penetrating that market at about 0.1%. First-time visitors is 42.9%. Repeat visitors is only 1.9%. There is an opportunity there, obviously. Marketable consumers, it's New York City, right? So it's hugely densible. But in that particular zip code, 576,000 people, 576,769. The percentage of the visitors of this dispensary who also go to dispensaries within 2 miles is 45%. and their repeat visitors frequency is about 1.23 times every 30 days. Some insights, age, the middle right here, that's kind of the sweet spot of all retail, 34 to 64. Pretty split male to female, with a little bit more male than female. Income, it makes a lot of sense because of where you're located. The income is in the upper income bracket, the upper middle class and the upper income brackets. Visits per month. This goes back about 6 months, it looks like. Yes, it does. So, you can see how many visits and then how many unique visits. Visit frequency, first time, repeat, and market penetration. So we could tell right off the bat that there's a lot of opportunity here. First and foremost in the market penetration, in the repeat visitor count, and obviously in the competitor conquesting piece. Gian also asks, are you limited to dispensaries within 2 miles, or can that area expand? We can expand that area. We can expand that area in the platform itself. It defaults to 2 miles. What qualifies a retail visitor as a unique visitor for David? We track 490 million devices, but we track devices, and what qualifies them as unique, visitor is the first time that we have them in there, the first time we track them in. And we have, as you can see from this report that I just showed, we actually go back 2 years. So unique is unique. Can we see who are the competitors? From Michael. No, at this particular moment, we don't give you the specific names of your competitive dispensaries, for 2 reasons. One, we have to figure out a way to put it in the market, into the platform, and make it palatable to the market, that we give like the top 10 dispensaries that are our top 10 competitors for you. But an individual competitor, no, because we work for everybody in the industry. So we'll give you how many of your customers go to other dispensaries, but we won't necessarily tell you who those dispensaries are. It's just a fairness thing in the market. You're welcome, Matt. Michael, did you find this helpful? Did you find it helpful? I'm going to stop displaying your dispensary information now. Get back up. Let me see if there's any more. Okay, I believe I've answered all of the questions. Happens when the CEO only does 2 or 3 webinars a year. So the benefits of shopEQ: maximize your operations, encourage loyalty. So these are 2 things that we didn't talk about in the actual report demonstration. What we mean by that is by understanding the types of customers that are coming to you, when they're coming to you, how often they're coming to you, understanding what that means for you on the operations of your store. Encourage loyalty. We just saw in the example that we showed live is that repeat customers were less than 2%, right? So as we go out and get unique customers and turn them into repetitive customers, really watching that number grow and encouraging loyalty programs and encouraging conversations and engagements with those customers over and over. Obviously optimizing your marketing and your in-store experiences based on the types of consumers you have. We have worked with a lot of new dispensaries, and we just had some in Connecticut, a couple in New York, lots in Michigan when Michigan was opening up, where just understanding the interests and the types of consumers that do live in that area helps understand, what type of marketing messaging works, what type of retail environment and retail merchandising in the store works. Yeah. This is all I have for you today and for shopEQ and Equio. Hold on a second, I think we got a couple new ones. Actually, these are great questions. So Michael asks, who the dispensary we just looked at, Michael asks, how do we make those customers repeat customers? And New York still doesn't allow loyalty programs from his understanding, which is true. But that doesn't mean we don't continue to engage. So from the shopEQ report, Michael, and I love that we're talking about this, in front of everybody else, that you're open to it. That from the shopEQ report, we know that the repeat customer is a huge challenge. So there's a couple of things we can do. We will help by identifying, obviously, all of the profiles and the audiences, making sure that we retarget those audiences. And also, not everybody, like if we've seen somebody who's come into the store, maybe we serve them another ad that asks them for their email address, right? We ask them for a little bit of information and we give them a little bit of information, not necessarily a value or discounts or things like that, because there are many markets that don't allow that. But you start to build your own ecosystem. And so a loyalty program doesn't have to be the gamification or the value-based redemption of value to the customer for being loyal to you. It could be the conversation that you have with them and the type of marketing you serve to them and the manner in which you serve it. It could just be a good conversation and a good ecosystem builder. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, I would like to thank everybody for coming today. If there are no more questions, again, you can sign up for Equio at equio.ai. You can sign up for a free account. The free account gives you the national look. If you want to look at your particular state, and then if you want to look at your particular store and move on with shopEQ and AdEQ, equio.ai is $49 for the state level insights. And then shopEQ is the access to all of our data and access to our consumer acquisition channels, and that's $500. I thank you very much, and we will distribute this, obviously, as we always do, and look for us everywhere you see us online. Thank you so much.